What's happening, my Jacked family? Coach Scott here, jackedafter40.com and shreddedafter40.com. In today's video, we're going to talk about how to make dieting easier so you can get shredded after 40. Now, the most important factor when it comes to getting shredded after 40 is consistently hitting your caloric target, which puts you in a caloric deficit while getting an adequate amount of each macronutrient and getting enough of each micronutrient in order to sustain your health and overall well-being. So now let's go over the most important strategies that will help make it easier for you to stick with your diet. And number one is to not be overly aggressive with your caloric deficit. It's very easy to get overly ambitious in the beginning, and you want to see some drastic results that'll motivate you, inspire you to get going, but it can really set you up for a binge and really make it feel like it's something that is not sustainable, something that you can't stick with. I recommend you aim to lose no more than 1% of your total body weight per week. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you'd be looking at losing no more than 2 pounds per week. And a good rule of thumb, if you're looking to drop 1 pound per week, you create a calorie deficit of 500 per day. If you're looking to drop 2 pounds per week, you'd be looking at creating a 1,000 calorie deficit each day. Or in the big picture, you'd be looking at creating a 7,000 calorie deficit for the week. Hands down, the most important factor that makes dieting easier for you is to follow a diet plan that fits your lifestyle rather than trying to fit your lifestyle to a diet plan. So working with your own natural eating tendencies. So if you prefer to eat 3 meals per day, don't feel like you have to hop on a diet plan that says you need to eat 6 meals per day, or vice versa. Maybe you like to eat 6 meals per day and this diet plan says you should only eat 3 or maybe even only 2 meals per day. Just again, stick with your own natural eating tendencies. If there's a diet that says you shouldn't eat breakfast, but you'd love to jump out of bed and eat a meal right away to get your day started, it energizes you, roll with your natural eating tendencies. If a diet says that you should be cutting way back on carbs, but you enjoy carbs, it's a natural part of your nutrition lifestyle, you don't feel like you have to eliminate certain foods. The best thing you can do is to avoid fad diets and diet dogmas. Just work with your own natural eating tendencies and build upon them, improve upon them slowly over time. Again, the most important factor is going to be hitting your caloric target each and every day. So do so in a way that fits your lifestyle and your own personal preferences. The next most important factor when it comes to making dieting easier on yourself to get shredded after 40 is to incorporate all of your favorite foods. You should enjoy everything that goes into your mouth. There should be no forbidden foods, no foods that you need to avoid when you are trying to get shredded after 40. And when you enjoy your treats, you can enjoy them guilt-free, knowing that you hit your caloric target either for the day or for the week. And that is the key. I think that just sets you up for success right out of the gates. Because if you are thinking to yourself right out of the gates that, all right, I'm trying to get shredded after 40, I love chips, but I need to avoid them during this cutting phase, you're going to be constantly thinking about having chips. And then when you do, you're like, you see them out there, maybe you're out at a gathering, someone has some chips out, or you're grocery shopping and you're walking down the aisle, I see chips and you just cave and you eat them. If you are trying to avoid them because you are dieting and you eat them, you're gonna set yourself up for feeling guilty, beating yourself up, and maybe even that will lead to a binge. Because how many times have you found yourself dieting in the past where you're trying to be perfect on your diet? You have one cookie and all of a sudden you think to yourself, I blew my diet, I might as well eat the entire box right now and then start again tomorrow. But if you have this mindset where no food is forbidden, you're allowed to have some chips, you're allowed to have some cookies as long as they allow you to hit your caloric target for the day. So you're gonna have to cut back somewhere else throughout the day in order to enjoy those chips, enjoy those cookies. It just sets you up for success. It sets you up for not feeling guilty about eating anything that you enjoy. You should be enjoying everything that goes in your mouth. And it's also important to really know yourself when it comes to your favorite treats and how you incorporate your favorite treats into your overall lifestyle. Just because you can have treats doesn't mean you have to have them every single day. Maybe you have them once or twice a week to just treat yourself here and there, just break things up, just kind of satisfy your sweet tooth, satisfy some of your cravings. But maybe you're someone who just really does enjoy a treat each and every day. Maybe you enjoy a couple cookies with your coffee in the morning. Just know yourself and what allows you to get the most joy out of life, and just really you want to make it feel as little as possible like you are dieting. The only reason you should really know that you are dieting to get shredded after 40 is because you are eating less than you normally would. Everything else should be the same. The foods that I eat when I am trying to burn fat, lose fat, get shredded after 40 are exactly the same as when I'm trying to maintain my weight and building muscle. So my diet, it is my lifestyle. And that's the way when they talk about a diet should suit your lifestyle, that's exactly what it means. The foods you are eating should be the same all of the time. So just create that diet and lifestyle, create your nutrition lifestyle where the foods you eat are the same. It's just the quantities that are going to change whether you're trying to get shredded or build muscle and get jacked. The next important factor that makes dieting easier to get shredded after 40 is focusing on satiety. And yes, we're talking a little bit in terms of the treats, like including some of your favorite treats that's going to satisfy your sweet tooth, satisfy your cravings, but oftentimes those foods are so calorie dense. Like a small chocolate bar may be 500 calories for yourself, and yeah, it's going to satisfy your sweet tooth, but it's not going to necessarily satisfy your hunger, your appetite. You may find that because it takes up so many of your calories from the day, that at the end of the day you are more hungry. It has impacted you in a negative way. So it really helps to incorporate foods, whole, natural, nutrient-rich foods that are high in volume that kind of satisfy your hunger, satisfy your appetite. So foods like oats and veggies and sweet potatoes and eggs, and some people will prefer egg whites because it allows you to have a larger food volume and a lower amount of calories. But just again, like the whole natural nutrient-rich foods tend to really satisfy you a lot more when it comes to satisfying your hunger and your appetite. And the best part about that is that it also is full of nutrients. It's loaded with micronutrients that are going to allow you to feel your best and perform your best. So if you are feeling satisfied, your hunger, your appetite is satisfied more throughout the time, and you're performing well, you're feeling really good, that's going to make it feel like you are not necessarily dieting as hard as if you were to include more of your favorite treats that are more dense in calories but not as satisfying. You're feeling more hungry at the end of the day, you're really going to know that you are in a diet, and it's going to be harder to stick with. And to give you an example, this last mini cut that I was just on for 4 weeks, I didn't include any of my favorite treats in there whatsoever. It was 28 days of nothing but whole, natural, nutrient-rich foods. I didn't tell myself that I was not going to have any of my favorite treats. That was not the plan at all. It was, if I wanted a treat, I was going to have it, but what I wanted more was to feel satisfied, to feel nourished, to feel energized, and just with each passing day I just kept craving those whole natural nutrient foods more because they were so satisfying, because I was feeling so good with it, and I just knew that if I was going to have some junk food or whatever, some sort of cheat meal, it would satisfy my sweet tooth, but it wouldn't satisfy my energy needs. It wouldn't satisfy my performance in the gym. It wouldn't satisfy my hunger, my appetite, and everything. The other thing is liquid calories when it comes to satiety. I would rather not consume my calories from liquid because those are not as filling and satisfying as well. During that entire 28 days, I did not treat myself to Starbucks, which is somewhat the norm. A few times a week, I'll hit Starbucks for a treat, but I just didn't want to, especially some of my favorite drinks that are like 400, 500 calories. I didn't want, that's a whole satisfying meal that I could have. I could have eggs, veggies, oats, berries, as a nice satisfying full meal that would satisfy me for hours, or I could have a drink from Starbucks and be hungry within half an hour. So there is a trade-off when it comes to liquid calories and solid foods, and it really helps to be aware of what's going to help keep you a lot more satisfied. And another thing when it comes to satiety is the macronutrients that you're consuming. Some people find that protein, like a higher protein diet, tends to satisfy them a bit more. Other people find that carbs satisfy them a bit more. It's interesting having a conversation with one of my clients, Aaron, who just bumped up his protein intake, a little self-experiment this past week, and for his breakfast it was higher in protein content, and he found that it wasn't as satisfying as his normal breakfast, which was a little bit more balanced, a lot more carbs in there. That meal kind of satisfied him more than just having like a lot more protein for breakfast. So it really helps to have a heightened sense of awareness with the balance in meals that you are consuming and the macronutrient makeup of a lot of those meals, to see which one of those kind of tends to satisfy you a little bit more, kind of fill you up a little bit more. For me personally, I find like keeping my meals fairly balanced, and even amount of protein and carbs and some fats in there really just helps satisfy my energy overall and satisfy my stomach as well. Now, I'm personally not one for having a set meal plan, but I do like to have structure in my nutrition. For just about every single diet that I have ever been on, the first 3 meals of my day are exactly the same each and every day. They're the same basically all year long. I am trying to work in some variety with those first 3 meals, so you don't have to eat the exact same thing each and every day. It does help me. It did really help me, but you could have some options. So instead of the exact same 3 meals, you could have 6 meals that you are going to rotate through throughout the week. So basically 2 breakfast options, 2 lunch options, 2 kind of little midday snack options there that you could cycle through. But rather than just trying to guess each and every time, at least you know there's 6 meals that you could possibly have during those first 3 meals of the day. You just balance between those 3 and know what those meals are, the calorie makeup. You save those meals in MyFitnessPal, so you're making tracking easier because you know you're gonna have those meals each and every time. You go into MyFitnessPal, select the meal, boom, it's all set for you. You don't have to enter each individual ingredient each time. You don't have to kind of tally things up, wondering what the calories are, what the macros are. It's all set, it's all saved for you. So I'd say 3 to 6 meals for those first 3 meals of the day that you can rotate through there. And then dinner time, if you are someone who again is on like a 4 meal a day kind of plan when you're dieting, so you have those first 3 meals that you're cycling through, and then you have a dinner option. You could have maybe anywhere from 5 to 10 different dinner options that you're going to cycle through. And once again, saving those meals in MyFitnessPal, so it makes tracking effortless and easy. For myself, those 4 meals, like when I am trying to get shredded, I'm on 4 meals. When I'm maintaining and muscle building, usually about 5 meals. So knowing those, that I have those 4 meals per day, they are pretty much evenly distributed in calories, so about 500 calories for each meal. So I'm just gonna easily swap out a 500 calorie dinner for a different 500 calorie dinner, a different 500 calorie breakfast for a different 500 calorie breakfast, and each of them are already saved in MyFitnessPal. So it's not a set 7-day meal plan, but you have set meals that you know you can easily swap in and out of your overall meal plan. So having structure in place helps make it mindless, it helps make it effortless. You're basically robot mode, but again, foods that you absolutely enjoy. I love every single one of those meals. When I was having those same meals, those same 3 meals each and every day, I look forward to them each and every day. If I don't have those eggs, oats, some veggies and berries there, I feel thrown off completely, because that's a meal that really energizes me, it really satisfies me, it really fills me up, and I love the taste of those meals as well. So those are that's a go-to meal that I'm gonna have each and every day. I love my shake for breakfast each and every day. It's just a great way, it energizes me for the day. It's not a heavy meal in me. I enjoy drinking it, I enjoy the flavor of it. Again, it's just something that I look forward to each and every day. So it's tough for me to work in a variety of there because I love those meals so freaking much. But just as important as having the structure in your diet plan to make it easier for you to stick with, it's also important to have some flexibility. So if a friend does reach out and say, hey, let's go out for lunch together, you don't want to feel that need to say, sorry, I'm dieting, I can't go out. You want to have that flexibility to get out, live your life to the fullest, enjoy company with your friends, and have that lunch fit your caloric targets for the day. So you can swap out your regular lunch. Maybe your dinner has to be a little bit smaller. Maybe if it was a very high calorie lunch and you're going to exceed your calories for the day, you just reduce your calories for the rest of the week so you can hit your total weekly calories for the week there. So if your goal is 2,000 calories for the day, you go out for lunch with a friend, you hit 2,500 calories. means that you could just reduce your calories by 100 for the next 5 days and still hit your weekly caloric target and still achieve the same amount of weight loss that you were aiming to achieve. So you can go out for lunch with your friends guilt-free. You shouldn't feel guilty about going off your diet plan and even going slightly above your calories for that day, because you can make it up throughout the remainder of the week and still achieve your fat loss goals. Now, if this is happening every single day where you're getting called out and you're exceeding your calories, yes, that's a whole different story. But when it's just happening once in a while throughout there, you should never ever feel guilty about that. You should never ever feel guilty about any treat that goes in your mouth. It's all a part of your natural eating tendencies, a part of your lifestyle, living life to the fullest. You want to make this seem as natural as possible. You want to make it seem like you aren't necessarily dieting. Yes, you're restricting your calories a bit, but you're not restricting the foods that you are consuming, the treats that you are consuming. You're not restricting yourself from being able to go out and enjoy time with family and friends. It should all be it should all just feel as natural as possible to you. And the last thing you can do to make dieting easier so you can get shredded after 40 is to incorporate diet breaks, especially if you have 20 pounds, 30 pounds, or 40 pounds to lose. Maybe you diet for about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, where you're aiming to hit your 1,000 calorie deficit for each and every day. And after that 3 to 4 weeks, you take a week or two where you eat at maintenance level calories. And some research has shown that this will help you preserve your muscle mass. It's also going to be a great mental break from dieting. It's also going to teach you how to eat at maintenance level calories. So once your dieting is done, once you have achieved your fat loss goals, you'll have a greater understanding of what you need to consume in order to maintain your weight. Once again, when you have this structure in place and you're eating all the same foods, the same meals, it's just the quantity that changes. Again, it's more of an overall lifestyle. But again, these little diet breaks, again, it's going to help you preserve your muscle mass. It's going to be mentally easier on yourself, and yeah, it's going to extend the fat loss process a little bit longer. It's going to take a little bit longer to achieve your goal, but it's really setting you up for long-term success. I wouldn't say, the one study, the Matador study, was 2 weeks in a calorie deficit, 2 weeks at maintenance, going back and forth there. But you could do 3 to 4 weeks in a deficit, 1 week at maintenance level calories. You can just try different things out. Maybe 2 weeks in a deficit, 1 week at maintenance there. So try different things, but just giving yourself little breaks here and there. So the dieting, it doesn't wear on you. It doesn't, it just doesn't run you down. So little breaks here and there, again, it's going to help you sustain your fat loss over the long term and just, again, teach you how to maintain your physique after you achieve your fat loss goals and get shredded after 40. I hope you enjoyed these tips to make dieting easier so you can get shredded after 40. If you did, please smash that thumbs up button. I'd really appreciate it. If you know a fellow bro who would benefit from watching today's video, do him a favor and share it with them more than anything. I would love to hear from you down in the comment section below. Share your thoughts, share your insights, share your feedback, and before you go, don't forget to download your free guide, Jacked After 40. Have yourself an amazing day. I'll catch you in the next video.